Hello, this video is on the Fresh Lead Generator 3.58 or above and the Sales Navigator tab. This is a very important tab. I want everybody watching this to remember that you can get Sales Navigator for free the first month, even if you've had it free before, usually if you haven't obtained it within the last year. So um, basically what we're doing here is we are collecting highly targeted data. If you send through the group message tab in a group, for instance, you're sending to everybody. But in the Sales Navigator, you're sending only to those that you want to, the keyword and the title. So I've got SEO services here. Now you could put anything, restaurant, for instance. If you want to contact restaurant owners, put in restaurant owner. Now I've got owner, CEO, manager, VP of sales. And if you want to put in multiple titles, you just put them in one and then hit your enter button, go down to the next line. So you do it line by line. And a location. Now, LinkedIn will only produce 1,000 results. Even in Sales Navigator, they only display 1,000 results. Okay, in order to get all of the results, you need to drill down by location. So instead of doing the entire United States, we go state by state, or if there's a lot of results for a keyword, for instance, if you're looking for real estate agents, you're going to have to go city by city to get all of them. Now, the number one use of this, I'm going to show you a couple of different major ways that we use this, is to put in a group link so that we're targeting the people in a group. Now, why do we do this? Well, because we can message to them using the group message facility over here. All right, when we select group message and we send our results, it will use the group message facility to send them. But we're not sending it to everybody. We're only sending to the people that we want to send to. For instance, the keyword and owner, restaurant owner, for instance. I'm doing SEO services, owner, CEO, etc. And so inside of the group that I have here, which is the digital marketing group, I'm only getting those people. Now, digital marketing group, FYI, has over 2 million people in it. And so this is one of the largest groups on LinkedIn, and I use it constantly to target all kinds of different verticals, even though it doesn't say that it's that type of a group. So let's say that, for instance, let's say that you tried to join, different types of groups, and they would not let you in. Well, you contact the owner of the group and ask them if they will let you in. Let's say they still don't let you in. So you can bypass that in a couple of ways. I'm going to show it to you. Number one, you can join gigantic groups of millions that are in LinkedIn. Digital marketing is one of them. And you can Google top groups on LinkedIn. And I can put out a list in the future. But if you join, there's about 15 gigantic groups that have a million or more in them. And probably more than that, but that's what I have. And you can put them in here, and then you can still scan for just about anybody because they're in those groups. So if you're going to send to the group, you put in your keyword, your titles, your location, okay? You put in the group link, and then you select Get Groups when you run your collection. Then you set any other parameters you want, okay? If you're in the ERC, ERTC, whichever program you're in, you can select the size of the company over here, for instance, and only connect with the size of the companies that you want. And then when you go to run, you just click your play button here. Now, it's going to take about 10 minutes or so, approximately. Could be a little less, could be a little more. Might be 5 if there's only, a couple dozen people. But it's going to scan the results, okay, all through that group, and it's going to display them here. So I have only SEO services and primarily owners and CEOs from the digital marketing group in Colorado, and I've pulled in 250. Now, you may pull in a little less. You may pull in 250 and there's still more, okay? The next thing you do, because you're in the group, is you select your message, whatever message that's going to be, okay? And then you make sure you're on group message, and then you come over here to the selector, and you select 1 through 125, assuming you've got at least 125 results. You select them. Now, it's like a loaded, cocked, and ready gun. And the next thing you do is click the message button. It will count up the messages sent here, okay? Now, remember, in a group, there's a few people, usually about 3 or 4%, that have set their profile not to receive group messages. So we're not going to get 100% ever, or hardly ever. But just so you know, it will count up the actual number of messages sent here. If you want to collect email, then select this so that when you run your messaging, as we open the profiles, then we're going to scan for the email of that person, and it will come up right here. Now, once you're done, okay, then you unselect. Actually, it'll blue all of these. Unselect, and then it's going to take a while, a couple of hours to send out. After that, let's say you do that at 9 a.m. Okay, then about 2 p.m., a few hours later, come in, all right, and select 126 through 250, or your next set of 125. Then you can send again. Okay, so we can send 250 a day, but we need to space it out throughout the entire day. LinkedIn has become a little bit more sensitive about sending messages, a total of 250. So we've slowed it down. So instead of taking about an hour, now it takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to send 125, but we can still do it. It will collect those emails. Now, when you go to send, there's this use in mail selection here as well. Now, that is for the second mode that I'm going to show you. Okay, the second mode that we commonly use, which is very interesting actually, is open profiles. Open profiles are profiles that the profile itself is a premium profile. Okay, the user, LinkedIn user is paying for it. LinkedIn member, I should say, is paying for it. And on top of that, they have set it to be open, meaning that anybody can message them. Anywhere on LinkedIn, anybody can message them. Okay, it's a free message. And a lot of realtors, financial advisors, real estate investors, accountants, etc., use this. So C-level people often set up open profiles. It just depends on the vertical as to how many there are. But real estate agents are probably the top. Anyway, what we do then is we do the same thing. We come in here, we put in a group link, all right? And when you put in that group link, by the way, it's got to include the https://. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Now, let's say that you've been trying to get into restaurant groups, for instance, and nobody will let you in. Well, what we can do is we can go in and we can put in all of the parameters that we want, and we can put in that link to that group, even if we're not a member of the group. LinkedIn, through Sales Navigator, remember, you got to have a Sales Navigator account, will provide us with the key information, the profiles that we want in the group. Again, even if we're not a member. So let's say we can't get into a certain group, we would paste that group link right here, just like we did before. We select Get Groups, put in all of our other parameters, okay, whatever our keyword title and location is, all right, and then we select Open Premium. So the system will now look for premium accounts and attempt to find only those that are open. It's not 100% though. We can get somewhere around 80% that are open. All right. Some premiums are a premium account, but they're not open, but the vast majority are. So that's the best that we can do with a scan. So what we do then is we select open profiles, select open premium, select get groups, put in that group link, all right, even if we're not a member. And if we are a member, we can still collect opens and premiums if we want to, but we don't really need to because we can send through the group message facility. But here we cannot send through the group message facility because we're not a member. You have to be a member of the group. So we just put that group link in that we're not a member of, select open premium, select get group, select open profiles, and click play. And that will pull all of the open premium profiles in that group. In that case, you can set your location probably just to the United States, okay? And we can pull how many there are, depends on the vertical, but we can get a bunch of them and bring them in here. If there's more than 250, well, we'll bring in 250. We just leave these profiles in the grid. And when we click the play button next time, okay, because these profiles are still in the grid, the software knows to skip these and go to the next ones. All right. So let's say we've done this. We click the play button. We've got 250 that we've brought in of restaurant owner, CEO, managers, or whatever. Then we've got this location in the United States, let's assume. Now let's just hit it again, and we can bring in the next 250, and then the next if they're in there. Anyway, open and premium, we can then send to those profiles that are open. We select this. We select our 125 again, okay, and then we select email if we want, okay, and now these are open premium that we've ran from our collection, and then we just click message. Now, why does it say use InMail? Well, you can, if you want to get that extra percentage of the ones that you've collected, for instance, you can run some InMails. Okay, so like let's say that you collected 100 and 80 of them were open, and then if you click use InMail, then you can send to all 100, but you're going to use 20 of your InMails. Now, LinkedIn says that they give you 50 InMails a month with Sales Navigator. But what's funny is that mine keeps saying 150. So I don't know what's true. I have no idea because mine just keeps saying 150 all the time. So maybe they've been very generous with me about the use of InMail. But anyway, this is a way to beat the system by using this open and premium and then just putting in any any group link. Now you're not going to get all of them, of course, but you're going to get a bunch of the key ones. Now, here's the other thing. Open accounts, all right, those profiles that are premium that the member is set to open, they are the most responsive on LinkedIn. Okay, those people are paying for their account and they've set it to open and they're used to getting messages. So they are very responsive. So if you're testing a an ad, let's say that you have, a message, and you want to test it under the most ideal conditions, then collect some premiums, let's say, 100 or two, and send to those people and see how they respond. Because if they respond favorably, you're probably going to do well with it. All right. So that's a little secret as far as being able to message, even if you're not a group member, and to how to test your messages under ideal conditions. Now, here's something else that's really cool. All right. So after we're done and we've got all of them and we've sent them, we can select up here and select all of the um, ones that we have collected, and then we can export them so that on another day and another time, we can send to them again. All right. Um, One of the great things is that if you want to, under certain types of verticals, if you've got plenty of these open profiles, what you can do is you can go from um, group to group, whether you're a member or not, and just scan all of the groups, okay, and jump from location to location and just begin collecting and collecting and collecting these open profiles so that you have, however many. Um, in the case of, let's say, real estate investors, I believe we can collect thousands of these across the United States from multiple groups so that we have a complete file of nothing but real estate investors from different cities and or states. So it just depends. It depends on how many are there and how much you want to market to them. But imagine having a list of thousands of your perfect target market where you can target them with multiple offers, and you've got them there, and you can just regularly you can just go right back to it and market over and over again. So this is the super cool, highly responsive system that is in this Sales Navigator. So the other thing that we have built, okay. Oh, one more thing. This resend. If you do resend to your profiles later, like let's say that 2 weeks later you bring them back in, you want to resend, make sure to select resend because the system is programmed not to send to the same um, people, even across multiple groups. So if there's a profile, let's say that is in 3 or 4 different groups, then the software should remember who it's sent to and not send to that person again. So people ask me about duplicates and stuff. So we've programmed Freshly Generator not to send to multiple. But if you bring a file back in from earlier, select resend so that it overrides that. The other thing you'll see is invites. Now, LinkedIn, it used to be we could do up to 100 invites a day through Sales Navigator. But in their finite wisdom, Microsoft decided that, who owns LinkedIn, of course, decided that they were going to put the kibosh on invites. And now you can only do 100 a week. So nobody really uses the invite system much anymore. But what is interesting in invites here, okay, you can, if you want to, just do that 100 a week, you can put in a message into the invite facility, which is over here under message. Okay, it's on the right side. It's invite. You can actually put in 400 or 500 characters and a link into that invite, and you can beat the system again and send that message through the invite facility. Now you can only do 100 a week, but just depending on what you want to do, you can do that. So if you want to do that, then you can bring in those people that you want to invite however you want. Okay, you don't have to, use the Git groups. You don't have to do open or premium or anything like that. And you can if you want to. So it's up to you. However you want to do it. You could literally leave that all of this blank and just search for any keyword on LinkedIn and then run your invites to them. But again, you only have 100 a week. So we typically don't do that anymore when we can message 250 a day. Anyway, this is the Sales Navigator. This is the primary weapon on Fresh Lead Generator. The most successful people that use the software use this system. Yes, it is $100 a month for Sales Navigator, but if you can afford it, this is a fantastic, fantastic best practice way to send your messages. We can do a lot with the premium targeting tab. We can collect premium accounts and use other means to send if we cannot afford Sales Navigator. But Sales Navigator is the number one and best way to message if you're going to be successful. Thank you for watching.